Pablo Escobar was born in 1949 in Antioquia, Colombia. This region, known for its lush landscapes and coffee plantations, was a place of stark contrasts. While the natural beauty was undeniable, the economic disparity was equally striking. He grew up in a poor family. His father was a farmer and his mother was a schoolteacher. Despite their hard work, the family struggled to make ends meet. The harsh realities of poverty were a constant presence in young Pablo's life. He was a clever child, but often in trouble. From a young age, he displayed a knack for finding unconventional solutions to problems, often bending the rules to his advantage. His mischievous nature and sharp mind set him apart from his peers. Escobar started his criminal career young. In his teenage years, he began to engage in petty crimes, seeing them as a way to escape the limitations of his impoverished upbringing. His early ventures into crime were small-scale but hinted at his future ambitions. He stole tombstones and resold them. This unusual crime involved removing the inscriptions from the tombstones and selling them to smugglers. It was a bold and audacious move that showcased his willingness to take risks. He later moved on to car theft. This was a more lucrative and dangerous endeavor, but it provided him with the financial means to support his family and further his ambitions. Each stolen car was a step towards a more significant criminal enterprise. These early crimes foreshadowed his future. They were not just acts of desperation, but calculated moves that demonstrated his strategic thinking and desire for power. Escobar was not content with small-time crime. He had bigger plans. Escobar was ambitious and craved power. He was determined to rise above his humble beginnings and make a name for himself. His ambition was fueled by a desire for wealth, influence, and control. He saw an opportunity in the growing drug trade. The burgeoning cocaine market in the 1970s presented a lucrative opportunity. Escobar recognized the potential for immense profits and began to build connections within the drug trade. This was the start of his path to becoming a notorious drug lord. His early experiences and ambitions set the stage for his rise to power. Escobar's journey from a poor boy in Antioquia to one of the most infamous figures in history had begun. In the 1970s, Pablo Escobar, a name that would soon become infamous worldwide, entered the drug trade. Born in Rio Negro, Colombia, Escobar was ambitious and saw the burgeoning drug market as a lucrative opportunity. He started small, smuggling cocaine paste from Peru and Bolivia. These countries were rich in coca plants, the raw material for cocaine. Escobar's initial operations were modest, but he was determined to grow his empire. He then processed it into cocaine in Colombia. Setting up clandestine labs in the jungles, he refined the paste into pure cocaine. This process was risky and required secrecy, but Escobar's network was efficient and loyal. He then smuggled the cocaine into the United States. Using a variety of methods, from hidden compartments in planes to secret routes through the Caribbean, Escobar ensured his product reached the lucrative US market. Demand for cocaine was high in the US. The 1970s saw a surge in recreational drug use, and cocaine became the drug of choice for many. Nightclubs, parties, and the burgeoning disco scene fueled this demand. Escobar capitalized on this, quickly expanding his operations. He formed the Medellín Cartel, a powerful and ruthless organization that controlled the majority of the cocaine trade. His network spanned continents and his influence grew rapidly. He was ruthless and eliminated his rivals. Escobar's rise to power was marked by violence. He used bribery, intimidation, and outright murder to remove any obstacles in his path. His tactics were brutal but effective. His ruthlessness earned him respect and fear. In Medellín, he was both a hero and a villain. Some saw him as a Robin Hood figure, while others lived in terror of his wrath. His dual reputation only added to his mystique. He became a key player in the drug trade. By the end of the 1970s, Escobar was one of the most powerful drug lords in the world. His empire was vast, his wealth immense, and his influence undeniable. The stage was set for his reign of terror and his eventual downfall. Escobar and other traffickers formed the Medellín Cartel. This cartel controlled a large portion of the cocaine trade. The cartel made billions of dollars. This wealth gave Escobar immense power. He used this power to corrupt officials and silence his enemies. He became known for his violence. Escobar used car bombs and assassinations. He terrorized Colombia. He aimed to become untouchable. Despite his brutality, Escobar cultivated a public image as a benefactor to the poor. He built homes and soccer fields in Medellín. He gave money to the poor. This earned him some support among the people. This Robin Hood image made him more dangerous. It made it harder to build cases against him. Some saw him as a hero. Section 5. The height of power, political ambitions, and ruthless tactics. This chapter delves into the period when Pablo Escobar's influence reached its zenith, a time marked by his audacious political ambitions and the ruthless tactics he employed to maintain his grip on power. At his peak, Escobar was one of the world's richest men. His wealth was so immense that it was estimated he was making around $420 million a week. His opulent lifestyle was a testament to his vast fortune. With luxurious mansions, private jets, and a fleet of high-end cars, he had immense political influence. Escobar's reach extended far beyond the criminal underworld. He was deeply entrenched in the political landscape of Colombia. He used his wealth to bribe officials, fund political campaigns, and even provide for the poor, which earned him a Robin Hood-like image among some Colombians. He even dreamed of becoming Colombia's president. Escobar's political ambitions were no secret. He ran for public office and was elected as an alternate member of the Colombian Congress in 1982. His goal was to gain immunity from extradition to the United States and to further solidify his power. However, his ambition and violence drew increasing attention. Escobar's ruthless tactics, including assassinations, bombings, and kidnappings, began to draw the ire of both the Colombian government and the international community. His violent methods were intended to intimidate and eliminate his enemies, but they also painted a target on his back. He faced opposition from the Colombian government and the United States. The combined efforts of Colombian authorities and American agencies like the DEA led to a relentless pursuit of Escobar. Anti-drug operations intensified, and the pressure on Escobar and his cartel grew exponentially. Escobar surrendered to authorities in 1991. After years of evading capture, the mounting pressure forced Escobar to negotiate his surrender. The terms of his surrender were highly favorable to him, allowing him to avoid extradition and continue to operate his cartel from within prison. He negotiated favorable terms for his surrender. Escobar's surrender deal included the construction of his own prison, La Catedral, which was more of a luxurious retreat than a penitentiary. This arrangement allowed him to maintain control over his operations and live in relative comfort. He was imprisoned in a luxurious prison he built himself. La Catedral was equipped with amenities such as a soccer field, a bar, and a jacuzzi. This period of imprisonment was more of a strategic retreat for Escobar, allowing him to regroup and plan his next moves while under the guise of being incarcerated. Section 6, La Catedral, a prison of Escobar's own making. Escobar's prison, La Catedral, was more like a luxury hotel. He continued to run his empire from prison. He even murdered rivals within its walls. This demonstrated his power and control. The Colombian government eventually decided to move him to a real prison. Escobar escaped from La Catedral in 1992. Section 7, the walls close in. The search for Escobar intensifies. After his escape, Escobar was on the run. The Colombian government, with US assistance, formed a special unit to hunt him down. This unit, known as the Search Block, used all means necessary to find him. They raided his hideouts and arrested his associates. The pressure was mounting on the drug lord. Section 8, the fall of the Kingpin, Escobar's demise. The manhunt for Escobar intensified. He became increasingly isolated and desperate. His violence continued, but his reign of terror was nearing its end. On December 2, 1993, he was tracked down in Medellín. Escobar was shot and killed by Colombian security forces. Section 9, the legacy of Pablo Escobar, a complex and troubled inheritance. Pablo Escobar's legacy is complex. He brought immense suffering. His drug empire fueled violence and addiction. His actions left a lasting scar on Colombia. However, he is still revered by some. He is seen as a symbol of resistance against the powerful. His story continues to fascinate and horrify. Section 10. Conclusion: Lessons learned from the life and death of Pablo Escobar. Escobar's life is a cautionary tale about the costs of corruption and the allure of power. His story shows how the drug trade can destabilize societies. It also highlights the complexities of crime and punishment. Escobar's story serves as a reminder of the human capacity for both good and evil. His legacy continues to spark debate and reflection.